Hi, welcome to Plaid Lattes. I'm AJ, and in today's video we are going to be making the fruit flower sandwiches gluten-free. If that's something you want to see, then do not adjust your screen. For ours, most people just do a whipped cream, or some people do whipped cream mascarpone. I am doing whipped cream and cream cheese, and then of course a little bit of sugar. So the first thing you're actually going to do is whip your cream cheese up. You whip your cream cheese first is it just makes it a lot easier than to whip in your whipping cream. I'm not actually using like an exact measurement here because I've made whipped cream a lot of times and you know about how much you get out of it. So one of the reasons that you put cream cheese or mascarpone in is to help stabilize your whipping cream, because especially since you will be chilling this for a while. Another great thing to use is powdered milk. I'll be using about a tablespoon of powdered buttermilk. That's what I have on hand. It's what I use in my cookies. And you whip that in, and that'll help your whipped cream not just deflate and make your bread really soggy. Your cream cheese and whipped cream and powdered milk, if you have on hand, and sugar are all whipped together, nice and fluffy. Then it's time to start cutting up all your fruits, and depending on what you want to make. So we do have kiwis, strawberries, and little teeny tiny oranges. If you'll notice, we have switched places as I suck at cutting kiwis and my mom is actually pretty good at it. So she is helping me cut up the fruit. Want to repeat that?
So I'm just trying to waste as little as possible. Nothing I hate worse than seeing people take off an inch of fruit with their peel. I'm not great with a knife, but with kiwi you kind of got to use a knife, not a peeler. So
when you're prepping your kiwi, you want to cut off the sides. You have the curved edges, and then slice up the middle for the stems of your flowers. And another tip with the keeping your bread from getting too soggy, if while you're cutting your kiwi you place it on some paper towel, that will absorb some of the extra moisture and keep it from affecting your bread. Once you have all your fruit prepped, you're about to get ready to assemble your sandwich. If you can't do the tulip cut, you can always just leave your strawberry whole and call it a rosebud instead of a tulip. My mom thankfully can cut like that. I don't have the dexterity for it. When I first saw Darling Desi, or Desi, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't know if it's short for Desiree or not. Making this, she crushed up raspberries and whipped into whipped cream. So we are also doing that as one of our sandwiches. Just nice and easy. Crush it up with your fork and mix in your whipped cream. So, like I said, we have all of our fruit prepped, whipped cream. We're going to be using the Promise gluten-free soft white loaf, not sponsored. It's just as a gluten-free loaf. It's really nice. It's wide enough that we're going to be able to get our cross-section in. So it's really good bread to use for something like this. So I've seen this done a few different ways. Some people do a really high thing of whipped cream all the way around your fruit. But I did watch another video where they simply spread it down and then layered their fruit in, and I thought that seemed a lot better because then you're not just biting into a giant sandwich full of whipped cream, which may sound fun but in reality is just going to be really messy. Okay. Wait, I'm doing an angle, aren't I? Right? Do I want to do an angle cut? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
Further down.
down.
Get your flour in there.
And then you gotta do,
Or your build up.
yeah. A lot of cream in between.
And we are not cutting our crusts off because
Is it filming right now? Oh. I thought you turned it off. Yeah, no, we're not cutting our crusts off because I don't have a problem with crusts. So you build up and then you put your center in. Right, I do need to, like Mom said, move that down, kind of angle it. And plop our flour right there. I feel like the angle's wrong.
Shouldn't be.
Okay. Probably not. I think it's because everyone else does this on square bread and it's angled bread. Okay. Are we filming? Or? Oh, we are. You keep doing that to me. Alright, so once you have your lovely little mound of fruit and whipped cream, suggestion, look for the smallest orange you can find. Some people do it with like really big oranges and like how is your bread not tearing? But you want to make sure it's nice and covered. Let's put that in there and hope it doesn't fall over. And then you're going to put your top on and kind of smush it a little bit.
We make poor life choices.
There we go. Just move that. There we go. And you are going to saran wrap it nice and firm. So that it can chill out for a bit. Take a Sharpie and draw your angle so you know about where you're cutting. So then you didn't do all that for just some weird looking fruit. So we're cutting this way. And you're just simply stacking up all of your flour pieces. As I hold a spatula that I'm not using. It's my comfort spatula. Right? So you're trying to put your curved sides in towards the middle so that it has that nice little tulip petal look to it. Since I'm clearly not a professional and just making this for myself, it's perfectly fine to touch it. Okay, now do I grab it? Is it rolling in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no like red light on the front, so note to self: if you're ever in your boyfriend's room and you see one of these cameras, double check.
Triple check me. Nobody needs that stuff on the internet. Nobody.
Nobody. Nice and tightly wrapping. So now a lot of people have square bread. There is a square loaf by Promise Bread that's brioche. I just thought this was going to be a little bit better because it's a little bit thinner and easier to mold.
It's a little bit bigger of a bread as well.
Yeah.
There's a Promise Bread for everything.
Nope. Wrong one. This is the problem with when you have a system going. Then you're like, okay, let's just go into the node.
Go into the no.
Go into the next one. And I don't want them to all be the same. Alright, so now we're spreading our lovely pink raspberry whipped cream. If you didn't have fresh raspberries, you could do this one with jam for sure.
Wouldn't be as pretty. But you could.
So lots of people have done the raspberry sandwich a lot of different ways. I'm going to try a way that, let's face it, might not work. But it was in my head and I'm like, hey, that might look really pretty. Or really weird. Pause for a second. Yeah. Alright. You're just going to layer them however you like. Put a little bit of kiwi on there. I don't know, I just thought that would look really nice. Look like little tiny little baby flowers.
See how that works out.
Yeah.
Life is an experiment.
And sometimes really doesn't end well. Sometimes it's pretty, sometimes it blows up in your face. That's why it's always good to have safety goggles.
And don't run with scissors.
Yeah. What are you talking about? I thought that was an Olympic sport. Alright. And there we go. And close. So once you have all of your sandwiches put together in the fridge for a couple hours, it's a good time to clean up all of your other product. And we will be back once our sandwich is done to make some Dalgona coffee to go with them. Now that it's been a few hours, we've taken our sandwiches out of the fridge and are going to prepare to cut them. So you want a sharp knife. I have a bread knife. I also have a non-bread knife, just because I don't know how is going to be the best way to cut these. And then a nice clean damp cloth to wipe them on. Alright, so let's cut our first one using the bread knife and see how that goes. Very gently sawing through so as to not make everything else goo out on the sides. Pull apart. And our pretty little rose tulip. So we're just going to keep using the bread knife because if it worked on the first one, theoretically it'll work on the others. This is our orange, so we're just very carefully sawing through. And booyah, 2 for 2. And now time for our experimental sandwich. See if this turns out super cute or a hot mess. Either way, it'll still be tasty, so, you know, that's a plus. And kind of cute. At least there's one that's got the little green part in it, but meh. It's always good to try something new. So, we're going to be making Dalgona coffee. Everyone remembers this from last summer. I'm making 1.5 batches. So our 3 tablespoons of instant coffee. We use the Nescafe Espresso, not sponsored. It kind of sponsored my soul, but not actually. And then I like to use brown sugar instead of white sugar. I think it gives a really nice caramelly flavor. And our 3 tablespoons of hot water. And then you're just going to whip the hell out of it. So once you have whipped your mixture, so it's nice and glossy and fluffy, I'm going to take out 2 glasses. We got these for Christmas. They are Daughter of Queen and Mother of Princess. And then, I mean, we're doing flour sandwiches, so if you're going to go super extra. Make your coffee ice cubes in heart shapes. Put your milk in, whether you're dairy free or just lactose free. I like to use coffee ice cubes anytime I do iced coffee because then you don't end up with a diluted drink at the end. And simply spatula your foam on top. Thing no one really says anything about is when you're doing this, only half of your sandwiches can be sitting with the flour up because the other half kind of have to be upside down for you to see the flour because the tops are so heavy. So there you go, some lovely flour fruit sandwiches and Dalgona coffee, just to make your week a little fresher and extra. Why not? Good times if you have a Plaid plate, even cooler. Till next time, that's all for now. Please feel free to like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.